I come from player development. You know, a 12-year Major League scout, and played with the Baltimore Orioles organization and been developing baseball players and softball players for a long time. Softball, not so long, actually. Doesn't seem that way, but baseball players for a long period of time, like really good ones, high-level ones, many big leaguers, high drafts, the whole deal. And my thing is I want to talk pretty much from the perspective of that part. And Josh kind of hit on it a little bit, but I'm going to go a little bit deeper. And the biggest thing I want to talk about is I think the biggest gap between getting what you do in the cages to the game. You know, like, I don't know, people told me that I do all these skill acquisition stuff like instinctively. I don't know, like I'm from Douglasville, Georgia. We just was in a cage working hard every day trying to figure out how to get kids to hit. And we have gotten boys to hit from taking them to the mall to talk to girls. Pretty much like, how'd you get them to hit? I said, took them to the mall Saturday. Said, there she is, go talk to her. And there was just like, are you kidding me? I'm like, no. Why? Just breaking down walls. All right, so the biggest thing I'm gonna talk about a little bit is ownership. You know, the ownership piece has to do with pretty much connecting the dots. When you talk about getting the cage swings to the game is so like volatile and emotional and stressful, demeaning. It can pump you up. If you don't have something that you think is yours, good luck, right? Bunch of kids are good in a cage, can do things, have a decent pattern, as we say, get in the game and everything breaks down, right? Well, when I started working with a lot of college universities, softball, started seeing some really cool things happen, like teams get better and kids get better, and I was like blown away. I was like, whoa, like, why are they getting better so fast? And then I started having conversations with the coaches and people, and it was literally like, this is 4 years ago, taking you back to one word, like ownership. Like, all of a sudden, these kids started taking ownership of their swings and their processes, and they start getting involved. And as a result, like, results came. Things changed, their swings got better, things happened. When they take ownership, like for me, that's when we can actually start to like teach, okay? And as instructors, the biggest thing, I think the biggest wall you fight is you have all the information, okay? When you get in the cage with a kid, if you don't give that away, they're never gonna hit. You may have a few, but this is not an arrogant statement at all, because I'm not that guy. They all hit. All of them. Good ones when they would come in, bad ones, like they all hit. And there's something about a belief system. I'll give an example. I had a kid who played for our team who didn't start, pretty talented team, goes to college. She's an ACC Freshman of the Year, and did things no one thought she could do but me. And I told her the whole time, like, you're gonna do good things. Like, it's all there, everything works. Like literally had to believe for her for like 2 years till she can go out in the game and believe on herself. So I asked her, I said, when did you know you could do it? And she said, I went on a run and I hit a few home runs in a row, and I said, I can do this. And after that was over with. She come back in, we went to work, and completely different kid. Brain's different, mindset's different, swings that aren't good are different. Like, the whole process changed for her. But that was the piece. Like, I pushed this kid from the time we started, literally trying to give her ownership of her process, and all she did was try to give it back. And I was like, I don't hit. I don't hit in the game. I go watch you hit in the game so we can see things that we need to connect, but I don't hit in the game. So you have to know this. This has to be yours. And I can tell you that if it's not, when they face fire or when they get in adversity in the game, right, they're not going to succeed with your swing, because until it becomes their swing, like, it's yours. Like, you own it. And I can tell you right now, walking to places, I can tell the kids don't have ownership, like whose swing it is, it's not their swing. and you can connect the dots, and it's amazing because they start to give you things back. They said, what if I move my hands like this? And I said, do it. And then all of a sudden things click. Well, that never happens. You know, like if you understand swing movements, like the swing in itself is a whole body move. I know like on Twitter, we fantasize about like the back arm or this piece or the hips or that. Like all those things are important, but it's literally a whole body move. Like it's not an individual piece. And the timing of moves affects so much in the swing, okay? You can move right, just be moving out of time. And I'm not talking about sequence. I'm talking about you're loaded a little early. So when you open, things get pulled forward. Well, we may do a drill where they can't load till later in their swing process, and immediately their arms are in a better position, their bat path comes from a different place, and they have swing changes like that. So that's the part I say. That's why them having ownership may unlock something that's really cool, okay? Why ownership? It breeds authenticity, right? You gotta have that. Like the swing has to become authentic. That's a hitting coach is there to simply, like we use it kind of like bumper cars, right? Like you drive in the car, we got an arena, and we just let you bump up against things, right? Until you figure out some things, okay? I don't give them every answer. I may see it right away, just like, oh, swing works left, hands are early, this is this, whatever, and we just go. And it's like, you're not gonna say anything? I say, nope, not my deal. They have to learn how to feel, right? And they have to learn how to speak, right? Like you go see me work with our young kids, we don't do anything tricky. It's not like a tricky process. But like it's hard on our young kids because they have to respond, like they have to speak back. Like, and it's amazing to have conversations. I brought one of my 12-year-old twins in here, and you start talking swing things to them, you'll be surprised at things that they say. You know, it's like I'm early. Like I can feel myself getting loaded too early, you know, or I was really in sync right now. And it's pretty cool because they're actually right. And that's the part that comes from is the authenticity piece. Without that, when that, you know, we talked about the adversity piece, like they're going to revert back to comfort because in that environment, your body and your brain is going to seek comfort. Okay. And it's going to take a shortcut to get there. So if you want to build, we talked about it earlier in our share, we were just talking about swinging, swing changes in development. And I made a statement and I said, like, I think sometimes we put stress on the swings too fast, okay? Like, if you're not comfortable enough, like you have to own it. Like it has to become automatic in the way you move, in the way you swing. When that comes, then you can start implementing little pieces of that. But if you take a kid who moves pretty good and starts to get a feel for it where they can repeat, and you rush them into the fire with too much variability and too many things like that, you are going to go backwards with your development. Because at that point, you have crushed their whole process, their whole motor system gets shut down, not built up. Because you can't crush them. Like you can call, that's different than failure. You know what I'm saying? That's like taking a kid and putting them in a level they can't compete at. Even though they're really good and they do things well, they don't have the capabilities to compete there, and you crush their spirit. The confidence piece, the piece that gets them back up, right? But if you do it little by little, you can build to the heart. We was talking about, I got a college hitter who, pretty good hitter, hit well over 300 in SEC with double figures in homers, doubles, and broke the record in RBIs with like almost 60. From a year when she hit 250. That's what ownership does. She said, put the black box on. It was too much, wasn't good for me. I shut it off, I put the ball away straight, and I worked my process. So, wow. This is a SEC player who hit over 300 in SEC against the best arms and said, it was too much for me right now. But she had enough awareness that she shut it down. And so that's the pieces that come from that. Style. It's important. Why style? Because it can link the swing up. We talk about moving a certain way. Like style, kids who develop natural rhythms, natural styles. Like how many hitting coaches pay attention to how kids actually move themselves? not putting what you think movement is in your eyesight, but how they move. Like, I don't say one word. Like, I could care less. All I want to know is how they move, like how they're really trying to move. Like, giving a tip to a kid who doesn't naturally move in a tipping way, probably not going to work. Kids who naturally move up in their hands because they have a certain thing, or they have a style that moves like this, that could probably turn into a pretty good balancing move for them, because that's literally what they are already trying to do, right? So if I'm a kid who naturally tips the bat, it's probably going to be an easy one to tip the bat. That's in their DNA. That's like who they are. That's like trying to get a kid who doesn't like to move very much to do big moves. Good luck. Never going to work. That's not who they are. Their whole DNA system would never, ever take that and turn it into swing. They're going to be a short, basic, halfway foot down at a kid. Tell me, I like the feeling of my foot being down early. I just can't stop or get loaded too early. I was like, okay, what am I going to say to that? I said, put your foot down early. Like, what am I going to say? Like, that's her thing. But that's the pieces of ownership with style. And style can matter. I'm telling you, pretty good college hitter literally was getting blocked, spinning off, major timing issues, and it was simply because, like, her balancing moves didn't turn into swing. And the minute you gave that to her, within a day and a half, I don't think she made another out the whole final stretch of PGF. It was unreal. Change up, rock it in the right center gap. Fastball, other gap. It was unreal. I was just like, wow. And all the things everyone was saying, oh, she's getting blocked, she needs this, she's too close to that. And I was just like, she's late. Late. Like, her style changed and it affected her whole swing process, right? But understanding movement and understanding who she is and how she's trying to move, I was able to link a swing together that literally made something that she can carry into college today, okay? And now she has something that's hers. Like, she knows, like, this is how my body wants to move. And that's like our job. Like, not, like, I don't like teach them how to hit. I get them to move better, and then you start building in that system of who they are, right? And then they'll hit. They'll find out how to hit in the game, okay? Another thing is accountability. We talked about that. But I use it this way. The accountability piece is not, for me, it's not about like the work. It's about like their own swing. You know, like their own swing and their own swing process. And this also leads to routine, right? And that's the biggest thing I miss. I go to a lot of colleges, all Power Fives, major universities, and literally the one thing that I see missing out of most of them is there is no consistent routine for hitters to be in. Right? And you can start building that into your hitters that are young and old. Like I'm watching this kid here who literally could benefit from this kind of work. But they're doing things that everyone does and it doesn't help, right? Because everyone has a boogeyman, okay? Like, I'll use an example. ACC player, major years, awesome. Her practice has to be low. And the swing up people, I'm like, don't get mad at me. But if she doesn't keep the ball low in practice, she's going to suck in the game, 100%. Not going to have success, not at all. Not going to happen. It would be pretty BP and balls would go really far, but the game is going to destroy her, right? So when you got hitters, when a hitter has a swing pattern that is pretty solid, they have to practice to protect who they are. If I have a tendency to pull off, I may hit all backside balls, ground balls, line drives, I don't care. I just want them to walk in the game and feel like they're on the ball. Because guess what? Then I'm going to get that A swing. If they miss underneath or they have a tendency to lean back too much, we may hit the ball low, okay? And if we hit the ball low, guess what happens in the game? She feels like she's on the ball, and guess where the ball goes? High, to the tune of 15, right? So all those things come from ownership for me. And those are examples, and I can go more and more about kids who, because of ownership, were literally able to change their course of direction with their swings and their success, okay? Like, everybody ever read the book Talent Code? Awesome book. It was cool, it was eye-opening to me because you start learning about areas who had amazing success out of nowhere. And it was literally half of it was done by ignition, like a spark. Andrew Jones at 19, hitting a home run, changed Curacao. They turned into this Little League World Series thing in Mecca. Like Latin America with the shortstops in the Dominican, all those things happen, literally come from like a spark. Well, ownership is that spark, okay? And if they have that, it allows the kid to practice from a deeper place, okay? And in that deeper place is where skill gets developed faster than normal, okay? And you have a process that changes immediately because of that, okay? Me personally, like I've given up all ownership. Like I'm a facilitator in the cage, in the way I teach, in the way we operate. Like I literally try to get out of their way, okay? What that does for me is it allows me then to really see, okay? I walk into a college environment and I learn that from that environment because they're not my players. My eyes are like way open. I walk in and I go, oh, like this is really close. It's just needs this and that needs that. And then you put it together and it changes and it's like, whoa, how'd you do that? I was like, man, I don't see them every day. Like you see them every day and it gets clouded because you're maybe looking for something else. And I walk in because I'm just looking from afar and I'm able to put the dots together. And the way I protect myself with the kids I work with in my own cage is that way, is I've literally gotten out of their way, okay? And the more you can give away, I'm telling you, the better chance you're gonna have of creating like hitters who can take swings and do things and make adjustments in the game. You know, I've been doing this a long time, and I remember when I had kids who, when I show up at a game, would hit. And when I wasn't there, I couldn't do the swing. And I was like I own the power of the swing. Like I literally gave them like an okay to do the swing. And I was like, no, it's not gonna work that way. Like you gotta find out how, like this swing's gotta become yours. And I'm telling you, if you do that, like you're gonna be surprised what happens with kids. And now you can coach every individual differently because at that point, you're just trying to line up things. Knowing the swing and the parts of it, knowing what it does allows you to be really simple and to coach the one thing that they may need, you know?